Daddy, tell me about the Titanic.
Daddy's sick. The ship sinks. The end.
Come on, Daddy.
Alright, cool. So the movie begins, right? And we meet our hero, Caledon Hockley, and he's about to board the Titanic with his future mother-in-law as well as his fiancée, the most ungrateful human being in the history of lady women, the crazy Rose DeWitt. And immediately she starts whining and complaining, but Cal reminds her with his whimsical charm that the Titanic is far more luxurious than
God himself could not sink this ship. What?
Meanwhile, the wealthy Rose boards first class while she compares herself to an African slave from Africa.
This is a slave ship taking me back to America in chains.
And then we meet Jack Dawson, a poverty-stricken man who wins tickets in a poker game to board the Titanic with his friend Fabrizio.
Daddy, was that his life plan when he woke up?
Indeed. So they embark upon the ship where they tell the Titanic security agents,
anyway, we don't have any lights. We're Americans.
wow! So the Titanic embarks on a journey of adventure and wonder as Jack shares a romantic moment with Fabrizio at the bow of the ship.
Why are you
Gazing at Jack Ismay while he humble brags, Rose smokes a 1912 vape and blows the smoke in her mommy's face and makes people jokes because, as you're about to find out, Rose is crazy.
But Daddy, what if Rose is acting out because she's young and she feels trapped into a life she doesn't want?
Jack gets his first glimpse at Rose.
Daddy, does he like her?
Of course! Look at her, she's under 25. So later during dinner, she runs out and attempts to make herself, sleep with the fishes. Because remember, Rose is crazy.
Daddy, don't say Rose is crazy. You just don't understand her.
Fine, let's do this. I'm gonna say Rose is, and then you'll add whatever you think Rose is, okay? So Rose is crazy, Rose is brave, Rose is strong, Rose is me, blah, 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 blah.
Awesome.
Jack, the terrible human being, throws his cigarette into the ocean for the dolphins to feast on as he attempts to save Rose. But her beauty makes him completely miss the red flags when she says,
Don't presume to tell me what I will and will not do. You don't know me.
because just like I said, Rose is... She stands over the railing and Jack confirms what I've been saying all along.
Crazy.
That's what everybody says, but with all due respect, miss, I'm not the one hanging off the back of the ship here.
Jack tries to save her, but she slips.
Oh no!
Right at the final moment, Jack saves her, but everyone thinks that he was trying to, coitus her without consent. But Rose tells them that she just wanted to look at the propellers and she slipped.
Women and machinery do not mix.
So, as a reward, they invite Jack to come eat with the rich folks. So later that evening, the hero, Caledon Hockley, shows genuine concern for Rose's mental well-being.
I know you've been melancholy. I don't pretend to know why.
And he gives her a diamond necklace and he reminds her. And he promises to give her everything. He only asks just for one thing in return.
Open your heart to me, Rose.
But Daddy, isn't it her choice to decide who she wants to give her heart to?
Oh, so the next day, Jack and Rose are taking a walk where Rose confirms what I've been saying in the beginning.
Look, I know what you must be thinking. Poor little rich girl.
Jack realizes he can manipulate her emotions by engaging her imagination because that's what men do so well.
What I was thinking was, what could have happened to this girl to make her think she had no way out?
You see, my child, that was a loaded question designed to make her start entertaining the idea of making bebe with him. And he gives her that little smile and laugh that we men use to make women melt.
Does it work, Daddy?
How do you think you were born, my child? Rose completely falls for it, and she checks out Jack's sketches of lady bosoms while he deceptively plants the idea in her head about getting naked while utilizing the art of storytelling to draw her in and completely crush her defenses, and she's already decided, I want him. Just like your mommy when she met me. So inside, Bruce Ismay tells Captain Edwards he wants to be in the headlines, so he tells the captain to go faster. In waters full of icebergs. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Daddy, what if it crashes into an iceberg?
You're about to find out, my child. Later on, Jack's poison sinks in as Rose wonders why she just cannot get away from the man who truly loves her for this street urchin.
What I was thinking was, what could have happened to this girl to make her think she had no way out?
As Jack fills her head with fantasies about adventures that they could experience together.
But Daddy, Rose seems so happy. Jack is good for her.
Jack teaches her everything he knows.
Like what, Daddy?
How to spit. Octoire. But oh no.
What? Daddy?
Rose's mom passes by and she gives Rose the angry mom death stare because she recognizes Jack for what he truly is.
Dangerous insect, which must be squashed quickly.
Wow! Jack arrives for dinner where our hero, Caledon Hockley, leaves him hanging because he knows that Jack is a threat. Rose wafts down the stairs and introduces Jack to all the rich people, and they tell him to lie about who he is.
Why, Daddy?
Because Jack is a poor. So while Jack lies to everyone at the table pretending to be rich, Mother and Cal are not interested in playing games.
Tell us of the accommodations in steerage, Mr. Dawson.
Jack keeps catching strays from Rose's mother.
And where exactly do you live, Mr. Dawson? And how is it you have means to travel? And you find that sort of rootless existence appealing, do you?
So she's squashing the bug quickly, Daddy.
Indeed. So Jack leaves, but not before sparking her curiosity and her sense of adventure with a note inviting her to come party with the scum class.
Why is it the scum class, Daddy?
You can smell the armpits through the screen.
Was it an awesome party?
Nobody parties like the poor. Rose is drinking beer while Jack dances with the next generation of his future girlfriend.
You're still my best girl, Cora.
What?
Jack and Rose dance together while businessmen are discussing business stuff. Rose smokes a 1912 joint and shows how she can stand on her tippy toes, and the poors are so impressed. But oh no.
What, Daddy?
Cal's bodyguard, Spicer Lovejoy, is busy gathering intel on Rose's nefarious activities. They danced and they danced and they danced all night long.
That sounds beautiful, Daddy.
But oh no.
What, Daddy?
The next morning, our hero, Caledon Hockley, is heartbroken because his fiancée Rose didn't come to the bed. But Rose has already started getting comfortable with being mean to him, and this makes him mad.
So you will honor me.
But Daddy, why does your hero Cal think he owns Rose?
Anyway, so Rose's mom banishes her from seeing Jack.
Why, Daddy? Why can't Rose be with the man she loves?
Pause, my child. I'm about to tell you something that you just can't believe. Rose and her mom are not the rich. They are also the poor. In fact, they should be downstairs with the scum class. This is why Rose has to marry Cal. This is about survival.
But Daddy, it's not fair to put this on Rose's shoulders.
This was in the real world where women were not allowed to breathe without the permission of a man.
Women and machinery do not mix.
So later on, Rose displays a rare form of intelligence as she tells Thomas she's noticed that there aren't enough lifeboats for everybody. But not to worry, for the ship is unsinkable.
But you said it sank.
You catch on quickly, my child. Jack kidnaps Rose, but she tells him she's engaged, but Jack isn't interested. He wants to make bebe, so he tells her the standard BS guys tell every woman they meet.
Sooner or later, that fire that I love about you, Rose, that fire is gonna burn out.
Daddy, aren't those sacred Geico secrets, and does it work?
Indeed. How do you think you were born, my child? Later that afternoon, Rose joins Jack on the bow of the ship where he does to her what he did to Fabrizio. It was so beautiful. But oh no, this is where everything starts to go bad.
What happened, Daddy?
That was the last time the Titanic saw daylight.
Oh my God!
They go inside where the seed Jack planted earlier finally bears fruit because Rose effortlessly makes herself to go naked so Jack can sketch her. But oh no, our hero, Caledon Hockley, is so worried about his beloved fiancée Rose, so he sends Spicer Lovejoy to look for her. He bursts into the cabin and they snuck out the bag.
Did they get away? Daddy?
No, he saw them in the face. But Spicer Lovejoy doesn't know the meaning of the word give up. His old bones will never fail his master. He chases them further and further, deep into the engine room where they hide inside a 1912 Renault Type CB Coupe de Ville, where they finally make bebe. So back at the cabin, our hero, Caledon Hockley, is devastated by his damsel's decision to be deflowered by the dastardly Mr. Dawson.
So what's Rose's plan now, Daddy?
They run out the deck where Rose tells Jack she'll follow him wherever he goes because Rose is, Jack says what I've been saying all along.
This is crazy.
I know. It doesn't make any sense.
But oh no!
What now, Daddy?
Because of Jack, the iceberg guys weren't watching out for icebergs as the ship gets closer and closer to the iceberg.
Oh no!
Everybody goes into a panic. They try and turn the ship as they get closer and closer. Into the iceberg.
Did they die?
Not yet, my child. The water burst through the ship. Now everybody's in deep caca. They try to close the doors to prevent the spread of the water, but it's too late. There's freezing water everywhere. Jack got what he wanted from Rose, so he decides to take her back to Cal. He doesn't need her anymore. But Spicer Lovejoy. hides the diamond necklace inside Jack's coat and he gets arrested.
But that's unfair, Daddy.
So Thomas tells the crew that the ship will sink within the hour, and Captain Andrew tells Bruce his man.
I believe you may get your headlines, Mr. Ismay.
Pa! Cal smacks Rose in the face. They run out. Panic starts to set in as Thomas tells Rose the secret information to survival that only rich people have access to.
Can't they call for help, Daddy?
They did, but it will only arrive in 4 hours. The poor class people are locked inside the ship while the rich class people get into the lifeboats.
That's not fair, Daddy.
That's just how it is. A flare flies into the night sky, showing the depths of the peril they find themselves in.
Daddy, where's Jack?
Jack is in the cruise ship jail where Spicer Lovejoy punches him in the guts and leaves him. Peace, nigga!
Oh no!
Mother gets into the lifeboat, but Rose runs away because Rose is our hero, Caledon Hockley, runs to desperately try to save the love of his life. Hoctois in his face.
Ew, Daddy!
Rose runs back inside to look for the man that she just met like 2 days ago.
Daddy, you don't get it. Jack is the love of Rose's life.
Jack is in trouble as the water begins to intrude the cabin while he's still handcuffed to a pole.
Daddy, how's he gonna get out of this situation?
Easy. Rose walks in and finds an axe and swings with her eyes closed. Perfect. Because Rose is... Our hero, Caledon Hockley, is distraught, desperately searching for the love of his life. Punch in the face. There's complete pandemonium. People are desperate to get onto the lifeboats, but our hero, Caledon Hockley, sacrifices his only opportunity to get onto a lifeboat because he needs to find the love of his life. He finds Rose, sacrifices his own warmth and urges her to get onto a lifeboat and watches her as she goes down, knowing he faces a certain death. But the ever-devious Jack tells Rose with his eyes, "Goodbye, my love." And Rose does something crazy. Rose jumps back into the ship because, say it with me, Rose is...
Why, Daddy?
Because she's willing to risk her life to be with a man she met like 2 days ago.
And he says what I've been saying this whole time.
So stupid. Why'd you do that, huh? You're so stupid, Rose.
But oh no!
What, Daddy?
In a moment of temporary insanity, caused entirely by the stress of Rose's betrayal and a little bit by the sinking ship, he grabs Spicer Lovejoy. Pew pew!
Pew, pew, pew!
He runs down the stairs and falls.
Pew, 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 pew! Oh no!
They run away as Jack leads Rose deeper and deeper into the sinking ship. Our hero, Caledon Hockley, watches on, heartbroken as he comes back to his senses and unselfishly saves the baby children by helping her get onto a lifeboat.
He sounds like a good man, Daddy.
Indeed. The orchestra plays one last song before the captain goes down with his ship. Our hero, Caledon Hockley, heroically gets out of the lifeboat and saves everybody's lives as the unsinkable Titanic goes down in what is the most spectacular scene in movie history.
Oh no!
But just when you think it's all over, the final part of the nightmare begins as the survivors have to choose between drowning or freezing to death.
Did Jack and Rose die?
No, my child. Somehow, by some miracle, Jack and Rose reunite in the chaos. No, they found a wooden door to float on, and even though there was clearly enough space for the both of them, Jack chooses to stay in the water in a moment where he finally shows the same level of heroism as our hero, Caledon Hockley. As silence replaces the screaming, Jack and Rose spend their final moments in each other's arms where Jack takes his last breath.
Did he die?
Extremely.
Oh,
Fifth
no!
Officer, Commander Harold Jeff Lowe, desperately searches for survivors as he screams out in Scottish, "Is there anyone alive out there? Hello!" Jack floats there, dead. As Rose realizes this is the only chance for her survival, so she lets Jack go to the bottom of the ocean.
Looks like he's gonna feed the fishes.
Exactly. So we see our hero, Caledon Hockley, for the last time as he desperately searches for Rose, the love of his life, while mischievous old Rose laughs at the rumors that our hero, Caledon Hockley, made himself to be dead.
What?
So the survivors arrive in America, where she introduces herself as Rose Dawson, even though she only knew Jack Dawson for like 3 days because, say it with me, Rose is... In the end, mischievous old Rose throws away the heart of the diamond that everyone was looking for, as she remembers Jack even though it was given to him by our hero, Caledon Hockley, whom she despised because, say it with me again, Rose is... So what did we learn from Titanic? Our hero, Caledon Hockley, wasn't the villain. He was the most human character in the story. He loved Rose dearly. He acted out when he started to feel rejected, He couldn't understand how, despite being such a good-looking, wealthy, handsome gentleman who wanted to give Rose the world, how she could choose to be with a street urchin. Cal always communicated his feelings to Rose. Cal cared about the baby children. Cal never stopped looking for Rose despite her betrayal. Who doesn't get upset when they find out that their partner is fooling around on them? You may hate him, but in reality, you're a lot more like Cal than you realize. The end.